I started racing when I was about 8 years old. I started off in go-karts, and then I worked my way up into mini sprints, which was a lot more power at the time. And then at about the age of 10 or 11, I got into US legend cars, and I was racing at around Texas Motor Speedway in Las Vegas, at the speedways there. And then from there, about 2 years ago, I got into pro trucks, which is a lot more power. And with the closing of asphalt tracks in Texas, I then moved on to the same amount of power, but in a dirt modified car. And right now, I'm just trying to work my way up from there. I'd say my favorite part of racing is the fact that I'm going fast. There's 30 other cars around me going just as fast, so it's quite the adrenaline rush. And at the same time, it's almost like an art, as not a whole lot of people do it, so it makes it a unique sport that I participate in, and something that makes me proud that I do, because it's so special and different from the things that other people do. Really, it just kind of depends on the track that you're at, on your top speed, because we're going in a circle, so you have to slow down going into the corner. But if you're on a 3/8 mile track, you'll be doing 100 to 110 going into the corners with the truck on the asphalt. But I mean, if you go to an asphalt track that's a half-mile track, you'll be doing 140 or 150 easily into the corner. So that just depends on the track size, because you can't carry as much speed in a smaller track. But on the dirt, you're not actually going near as fast, because there's not as much grip, and you're pretty much sliding through the corners. So you're keeping more of your speed up at the same time, but you're not really reaching as high of speeds on dirt. I would say the hardest challenges in the asphalt racing aspect is the setup, because every little single thing in terms of the car and how you set it up matters on your speed. So one little setup fault can make you a tenth of a second slower, and that can kill you for a race, because you're just going to be a tenth of a second behind. And if you miss big, you miss big, and you're going to have a bad car for the race. But that's something I like about dirt track racing, is that it's not so dependent on the car as much as the driver can make up for the car's bad handling. You still have to put in work for the car, but at the same time, it's not going to kill you as much if you're a little off on setup. But moving on to the next level, the biggest challenges on that is financially, because it's so expensive to get to any form of NASCAR racing. And the stages that we're in right now with my career are just expensive enough as it is. But really, you either have to be one of the very, very few that have a huge amount of talent and get seen by someone, or you have to have a big amount of money and be seen by someone, and just have the person that's willing to rent you a car or get you that publicity with your money. So it makes it kind of unfair to people like me who are trying to make it based purely off talent, because that's just a very, very hard thing to do nowadays.